Bloody hell. At the top of this pyramid, trying to get this pirate flag up here. What, we're going to start the show? Oh, for God's sake. Oh, yeah. Well, just about made it. We're running a little bit behind schedule, but we're going to make it in the end. Don't you worry. A couple of people I just want to get on very quickly before we get the show underway. We're going straight in at 5:15 to Rebellion Songs by Martin Joseph. I know he's standing by. I need to get his Skype details sent through to 02. I'm sure they're there already. Cool. We've got all sorts of nonsense going on here. Thank you very much for supporting us tonight. This is a celebration of creativity, of community, and everybody coming together tonight. We're all here at fake Glastonbury, if you like. We're all pretending that this is Glastonbury because we can, because we've got an imagination. And we're doing our best to inspire, to connect, and to build community, because art is what we call it when what we do might connect us to someone else. Bob Geldof said in 1975 he used to work in an abattoir. They weren't just killing animals, they were slaughtering dreams. That put the fire in his belly for punk. And tonight we're saying, here come the punks. We've got a performance by a man who's synonymous with the start of the punk rock movement, and Glenn Matlock is going to be playing tonight with Earl Slick. We're hoping to get Glenn on the line now, actually, but his Wi-Fi seems to be dropping in and out, but we'll have another go and see how we go with that. I've got a very special person I'm hoping to connect with up there in Leeds as well. So if he's up there and can connect with us, then do so. If you want to put comments into Twitter and Facebook or YouTube. We've got the system set up tonight, and those messages will get put along the bottom as well. So if you've got any questions, we have now got the legendary Glenn Matlock. Flip the screen around again, Glenn. There we go, and there is Glenn Matlock. Glenn Matlock, I don't know if have you got audio on your second screen turned up? If you turn that down, because we'll get a bit of feedback off that probably.
Yeah. Matlock.
There we go.
I've turned it down. I worked that one out.
Good evening, Mr. Matlock. How are you tonight? All right? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, I think.
So we're only going to be here for about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm not going to keep you because I know you need to get yourself ready for the gig later on. But what are your thoughts now compared to 1975? There was a sort of punk thing going on then. You've had a hell of a career, and I know you're back with a vengeance now. What are your thoughts tonight as you get ready to play on a cardboard pyramid stage in near Glastonbury?
Well, it's all the good old DIY spirit, I think, really, which I think is sadly lacking. It's all become very corporate. Can you hear me there?
We can hear you. It's all good. We can hear you perfectly.
It's all become very corporate. I think it's good that you're doing this. I'm glad to be part of this thing that is all a bit of an adventure in sound and vision for me. It was great. He was here. He was just at the pop up somewhere, but I'm sure I'll be back for the gig. Earl Slick.
Earl Slick's popped out, is he? Oh, well, he's
just popped out, but he said he'll be back in time.
He picked it.
Yeah, we're just all doing what we can do. You know, I'm quite pleased in a way that I'm a bit of a square peg in a round hole, or a round peg in a square hole, and still don't quite fit into the scheme of things. And I like to support anybody who's along those lines as well. You know, because I think there's more of them out there than the secretaries dancing around their handbags to what they're told to.
Well, fair dues. I'm hoping to get somebody on the line here. Actually, looks like he's struggling with his Wi-Fi. This guy is is a head teacher in a school up on an estate up in Leeds called Chris Dyson. He's been an absolute rock to us. Are you there, Chris Dyson?
I am live and in the house, Nick.
I can't see you. Have you got to press a button that says turn your camera on or something? So Glenn, this is a head teacher who's responsible.
That's it. It's coming on.
He's one of his biggest fans. Turn your screen round, Chris. So, Chris, one question for Glenn Matlock. Nothing too cheeky, because I know he's got to crack on and get himself sorted out.
Hi, Chris. I hope you're not going to quiz me about my maths homework.
Maths homework.
Absolute quality being on with you, Glenn Matlock. I'm lucky enough that I was nurtured on your music by a great friend, Dave Webster, back in Sheffield, who told me the brilliant story of when in 1980 he was actually having some beers in a hotel room with you, Mick Ronson, Iggy Pop, celebrating things. And he brought me up on you guys, and it's an absolute legend being able to chat to you today and things. So,
all right, okay, well there you go. Thank you.
I mean, nights like that have you had in your rock and roll career, Glenn?
How many what?
How many nights like that have you had in your rock and roll career? A bunch of people in a hotel room came in the bar.
It's about the 60s, if you can remember it. You weren't there.
Fair dues. Chris,
what an influential album, that they made in '77 and things. Why did they not make more? That's the big question. The Rich Kids were absolutely brilliant. I mean, the single best person out of the Sex Pistols who had a musical sort of history. Fair play.
Well, you got one fan, Glenn. That's not bad, is it? Chris,
that's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Chris,
I got on the tube a couple of years back, Bakerloo line, going to Roxy Circus. I got on there. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And Dennis Snowden, the bloke who's on the telly, does the bloopers thing, but he's also a great script writer. And I went, he looked at me as though I was looking at him funny, and I probably was. And I said, big fan. He said, oh, so you're the one. so you're the one. But it's just such an intense period that you can't, it's hard to sustain that, especially when you're young and you're still learning the ropes,
Fantastic.
I don't know if Glenn knows, but you actually got the quote of the week in the I magazine today, which I was reading about this afternoon, which was fantastic.
The what? Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, I missed that.
Say again.
In what magazine?
He got the quote of the week in the I magazine today.
Who did?
Oh yes, saying what?
Glenn Matlock. So happy days.
Well, you've been quoted in the I magazine, Glenn.
Yeah, but what did I say in the quote?
If you can remember, you weren't there, mate.
It was about the sad time when he buried his father, and then later they found his teeth and things. So that's what they sort of quoted, if you know what I mean. So
that wasn't for public consumption.
You have to have a chat with your PR, isn't it? Sasha, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, my dad's teeth. I go to a different thing. Yeah, that was. They're in the box. He's in the box in the kitchen, actually. So shout out, hello, Stan.
Say that again.
My dad's still here. I said my dad is in the kitchen, actually. So shout out, hello, Stan, the pair of you.
Good man.
Guys, my phone was ringing on the other side of the room, and I'm all wired in. Right. Chris Dyson, we're going to have to catch up with you later, young man. Chris Dyson. Well, it looks like you've gone anyway. Chris Dyson. Oh, he's gone. That's not to worry. So we are just about to.
I wanted to ask him what the square root of -1 was, but there you go.
Square root of -1. You're showing off now, are you? I tell you, he's got kids in his school.
Nobody knows.
So Chris Dyson's school. They've got kids there that they're in the top 1% of maths ability through the work that he does with them. Yeah, it's one of the poorest schools in the whole of the country. The social deprivation on that state, shocking. So Glenn Matlock, lovely to see you. I know you've got to go and polish your nose, powder your nose, whatever you rock stars do. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us here and everybody else. Going to come clean. We did record this a week ago because Earl Slick had to go back to New York, so we're going to see a film session. We're just a bunch of parents. I had my dad, my brothers there, my sons helping out. We had a few parents in there. We did our best. I hope you enjoy it, Glenn. We've edited it together, and
Yeah, I hope everybody does, and pin back your logos. That's what I
pin back your
suggest to
logos.
do.
Is that what you suggest? Is it? So all I'd say, Glenn, is if you do watch it, we've got a special system up now so that we can just paste up the messages. So as people are tweeting in, they can put the messages in. So if you can share it on your Facebook page and do a watch party, whatever they call it, it's all going to be on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you can big it up.
All that
for us.
modern stuff. Well, perhaps we can reconvene once it's all done and gone.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I certainly owe you a drink for this, mate. That's for sure. Thank you so much. The Arts Council, National Lottery funded this with taxpayer lottery players' money to bring art and creativity in. Can't thank you enough for your inspiration, Glenn. See you on the other side, yeah?
all right, have a good one.
Cheers, Glenn. Bye-bye. So there you have it. The mighty Glenn Matlock. Unbelievable. I can't believe that it's however many years since I got a copy of the TV Times. It had instructions on how to pogo, because there was a television program on the Friday night called Revolver, which was like Top of the Pops for New Wave, and I learned how to pogo, and then I went to my mate's house, and he was a solicitor's son, and he just bought a copy of Pretty Vacant, and we just hammered that all night. That was the only record we played all night in that party. So let me see if I can get Martin Joseph. Where's Martin? Here we go. So this man is a legend. I went to a festival in some woods on the South Wales, actually, just south of Bridgend, down in Chris Sullivan country, South Wales, and it was a fantastic festival called Between the Trees. Beautiful, beautiful event. Really was lovely. And at that event, they had a bunch of, there must have only been about 300 or 400 people there, and had a bit of tarpaulin stretched and a stage. And I would, if anybody said it's a folk music festival, I probably wouldn't have gone, to be honest. And a man came out and sang. He headlined, and the guy who ran it was a dream come true for him to hire this guy, and it's a dream come true for me because he's given his time up tonight for nothing. He's been very generous. He's globally famous. This is a set that he's going to do. It's going to be called Rebellion Songs. This is Martin Joseph, who's just settling himself down there now. Hello, Martin. Can you hear us?
I got you, Nick. How you doing?
I tell you what, man. I always like it when I can hear and I can see somebody, because that means it's kind of going to work. I'm going to have to bounce Glenn Matlock off now because he's gone anyway. That's good. I just need to press a couple of buttons, if you don't mind, to get you up here, because I haven't really read the manual on this. It's all quite complicated. There we go. You're over there. Oh, you're behind that one. Okay. I don't know. Have you seen anything we've been putting out today, Danny Charles?
I have.
You have, and you still turned up.
I was slightly perturbed, Nick, and because you described me as an Irish singer-songwriter.
Oh gosh, go on. What are you telling me? You don't sing, or?
No, I'm just not Irish. I'm Welsh.
Oh, you're.
Because you said he's an Irish singer-songwriter, and it's funny because he sings songs about Merthyr Tydfil in Wales.
Well, there's a funny thing, eh? I'm so sorry. Maybe I should have just Googled it instead of being up all night doing social media.
No, it's all right. I know you're under a lot of pressure there.
But I'll be honest with you. That night in, do you remember that little festival those guys ran down in the woods there?
Between the Trees, down in near Bridgend, Powell Camping, in the sand dunes there.
Wasn't it a beautiful spot?
It's very unique. Yeah, they've. I think they're in their second or third year, and I don't know if they'll be able to do it this year now. But it's a lovely little festival. Great people, very organic, sort of rootsy, and with a good view of the world. You know, really, really good.
I haven't been down there to that festival since, but the thing, things become victims of their own success if they're not careful, don't they? In terms of size and scale, and then they move and suddenly run an agricultural fairground, and suddenly you've kind of lost the vibe, really. But no.
That can happen without a doubt. So it's you've got to try and, as you expand, to try and keep the spirit of everything you're trying to do if you possibly can. Yeah.
It's interesting because did you see Chris Sullivan speaking earlier tonight?
I didn't. No.
Do you know the name Chris Sullivan? I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. But do you know a club called the WAG Club from back in the day in Soho?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody ever got in because they had this big bouncer on the door called Winston, and unless you could get through his legs, you weren't getting in. Chris ran that club for years, so he's almost synonymous with Soho nightlife, the jazz clubs, the dance, but a very eclectic, connected, unified community scene, really. And he's from Merthyr. That was the link.
All right.
So there you go. I got there in the end, didn't I?
We made the link in the end.
Because he's written the film. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. He's written the film script, I believe, about the uprising.
Oh, okay, in 1831.
Well, you tell me. I thought you were Irish, mate, so I'm not going to know a date like that, am I? So the point I'd make is, if tonight you guys connected because of his connection, he wrote a book last year called Mavericks.
Okay.
GQ reviewed it. Now, I don't know if you flick through GQ in the Barbers or whatever, but you might get half a page or a quarter of a page. He had 15 pages about that book in GQ.
Wow.
And the editor, Dylan Jones, wrote it himself, and David Bailey took the photos.
Wow.
So I think if you and him had a pint in Merthyr one day, you might move a mountain, to be honest.
Also, whatever works.
Martin, I'm going to leave you to it now.
All right, Nick.
I'm so excited I know there was one song you sang that night that really touched my heart, and I'm sure it's going to be up tonight, because tonight we're about inspiring young people to change the world, to give them some agency and to instill some of that spirit of punk, because punk's not a narrow genre of music. It's an attitude, it's an empathy, it's an energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, this set is called Rebellion Songs by Martin Joseph. Thank you very much, Martin.
Here come the young, with open minds and hearts, inclusive from the start. Here come the young, here come the young. They might just say it today, you best get out the way. Here come the young. They're tired of all your fighting, they're tired of all these years, and they're tired of blazing crosses, and they're tired of narrow fear, and they're tired of smelling hunger, and they're tired of hearing lies, and they're tired of the big divide. These tired girls and boys, here come the young, with open minds and hearts, inclusive from the start. Here come the young, here come the young. They might just say it today, you best get out the way. Here come the young. Tired of assassination, and they're tired of military threat, and they're tired of talk of trickle down, and they're tired of crippling debt, and they're tired of corporations, and they're tired of broken trust, and they're tired of being slaughtered, and those dreams that turn to rust. Here come the young, with open minds and hearts, inclusive from the start. Here come the young, here come the young. You might just say today, you best get out the way. Here come the They're tired of rising oceans, they're tired of bigotry, and they're tired of racist leaders eroding their liberty, and they're tired of a lack of shame, and they're tired of a failed accord, of colluders in a private game. They're tired of law ignored, and they're tired of their future being taken from them now. You better watch your back, Trump, because they're coming for you now. Here come the young, open minds and heart, inclusive from the start. Here come the young, come the young. They might just say today, you best get out the way, because here come the young, here come the young. With open minds and hearts, inclusive from the start. Here come the young, come the young. Might just say today, you best get out of the way. Here come the young.
Wow, it was amazing, amazing. You played the encore first. That's wonderful.
Well, it was serendipity. I decided that. head on in with that one. It's cool to be on the Pyramid stage. I've played Glastonbury before, but didn't quite make it to the Pyramid stage.
Everybody's on the Pyramid stage this weekend. It's our Glasgow, it's your Glasgow.
Cool. I played the Billy Bragg stage down there a few years ago, which was fun. All right, and retune. This is another. This is a song. If there's people watching, you can sing along on the chorus. It's called "This Glass."
This glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it is. This glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Fill it up with those who bend to listen. Fill it up with those who break the fall. Fill it up with the humble and selfless, with those who build bridges, not walls. And this glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it is. And this glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Fill it up with the poets and the carers. Fill it up with those who seek to serve. Fill it up with the givers and the sharers, 'cause they know what the rest is worth. Saying this glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it is. This glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it is. This glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Fill it up with the human spirit. Fill it up with that beautiful sound. Fill it up with the vision of dreamers. They find hope when there's just none around. Fill it up with the peace that finds justice. Fill it up with compassion, sweet grace. And fill it up with all those big contradictions and your bright and brilliant face. I said this glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it is. This glass is half full, and this glass heartbreakingly beautiful. I believe that this glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. This glass is half full, and this glass is heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, it's heartbreakingly beautiful. And some days we just don't see it. Some days we will not feel it. And sometimes we might not believe it, but my friend, it's still heartbreakingly beautiful. Yes, yes.
No expense spared tonight, Martin. No expense spared.
It's like the football games on TV right now.
No, everybody's mixed. We're on a big Zoom call. We had 1,000 people clapping there, and it's all good.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's a shame because it's so flat otherwise doing these online streaming things if you're not careful, isn't it? You know?
I know. I've been doing a few. I'm doing another one tonight. I've done two of them so far. I was on tour in Canada when this all broke, so I came back home and I've done a couple, and they are strange. But my wife comes down the corridor and holds up a sign to say, you know, people watching in 9 countries or whatever, and suddenly the adrenaline flows back in. You know? But and normally, you know, I don't have anyone to talk to either, so it's good to hear your voice.
I'll be honest with you, I'd be glad if 9 people watched. I mean, we sort of kill ourselves delivering these events and then don't have any time to tell anybody about them. But it's amazing. But it's funny, you know, 10 people will watch now, 100 people by midnight. 1,000, 2,000 will have watched it by lunchtime tomorrow. You mark my words. This is going to be phenomenal. Really big night.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
go for it.
wonderful.
Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt. I beg your pardon.
No, it's fine. You're absolutely fine. It's nice to talk to you. Yeah, I've done two. We had 1,700 people watching on the first one, which was amazing. And in fact, it's reshaping a lot of the a lot of things are going to change at the end of this. But certainly some of the ways that we communicate with each other, and it opens up endless possibilities. Not to do this all the time, but I think for special events. I'm going to calm things down a little bit, but still with young people in mind. This is a song I wrote for my daughter Harriet when we were. Well, I had the idea. I was driving her back to London, where she was studying at university at the time, from Wales. And as we drove up the M4, we swapped songs on our iPhones to pass time. And you have to follow the muse as a writer when there's a song. You have to make some mental note, otherwise it just goes down the road and Billy Bragg gets it, and I want the song. So I pulled the car over as she got an expensive coffee at Membre's Services and started taking some notes, and it resulted in this song.
Hair of golden sun, the light I'll always know. Your laughter carries rainbows. I held you to the sky not long ago, and now there you fly. See how high you go. I'm traveling back to London. It's home from home for her. We're swapping tunes on iPhones. She plays me the Kings of Leon, I play her the Rolling Stone. And time slips away, but all that's gathered will remain. I'm driving home now, once again. Mine is not to know, mine is just to ask. I just want to know that you're okay. I want everything to fit in place at last. All the pieces that we found, you just take away my best. Please, leave all the rest. I'm driving her back to London. It's home from home for her. We're swapping tunes on iPhone. She plays me Beach House, I play her Blur. And time slips away, but everything that gathers always remains. Driving her home now, once again. Walk without wounds, I and light up all those rooms with your face. I still might have some words for you. There's none that come to mind. There's not much vocabulary that I've ever left behind. I just hope I wasn't too much. For you are loved and beautiful, so much more than words could ever know. London, this is home from home for you. We've been swapping tunes on our iPhones. I played you Bruce, you played me Muse, and time's just slipped away, but everything that's gathered always remains. So I'm driving you home. Yes, I'm driving you home. And I would do it again and again. Again.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, Martin. Thank you. Really lovely. I've got, funny enough, I was quite delighted. I was delighted to see your studio actually, because you've got a blue wall.
Yeah.
So I've been a bit cheeky, and I've actually chroma keyed it out and put a video of the Glastonbury tour in the back there, and it kind of worked actually.
It works well. Yeah, no, it's my studio. What you can't see is there's a lot of guitars over here and stuff. But this is where I come and write and try to make some decent music, write songs. So this is a song for everyone, I suppose. Nick, these are very strange times, undoubtedly, and it's a long haul, and it's going to be a long haul. But I'm Boyd. I know you're a very positive person, and I think we've had great chances in the last 25, 30 years when catastrophic events have taken place to really use them positively for change, but we've failed to do that. But I sense this is different. I sense that things will change, and I'm buoyed by what we see in young people. I know that's your passion, and I'm grateful for all the work that you're doing in schools and youth clubs and trying to give young people a voice and raise their self-esteem through the arts. And this is the song is for anyone who's feeling the weight of that right now, the weight of this situation, and feels a little down and feels like there's not hope. I believe there is. I believe that the best of us is good, and there's a lot of it, and it's just all that negativity that gets the headlines. So this is to try and encourage you.
I need you great, want you brave, I need you strong to sing love. You are beautiful, I'm not wrong. Even today this timeline is fine, enough for us to find a path ahead, and let the whole thing roll on. Are you drifting away? Are you falling apart? Just let yourself be quietly drawn by the stronger call of what you really love, and let your soul, the one that you gave, safe to this moment in time, let it whisper to all of your fear, and let it wrestle with the noise of the night for you. If we could just step outside and look at ourselves for a moment, We might say there's a different way we can be. Don't expect to find all the answers of this world, because if you could somehow and then you did tell me, who would you be? Are you drifting away? Are you falling apart? Just let yourself be quietly drawn by the stronger calm of what you really love. And let your soul, one that you brought with you safe to this moment in time, let it whisper to all of your fear, and let it wrestle with the noise of the night for you. And in the midst of this moment, it's like we've never left, but there's a lifetime of returning, and we are not home yet. This isn't home yet. I need you brave, I want you brave, I need you strong. Sing along, cause you are beautiful. For once I am not wrong. And you can bring it on, we'll throw everything, cause in the end love wins big. And there's so many of us with no intention of lying down. But if you're drifting away, if everything's falling apart, that's alright. You just let yourself be quietly drawn by the stronger call of what you really love. Let your soul, the one that you brought with you safe to this moment in time, let it whisper to all the fear, let it wrestle with the noise of this night. Let it whisper to all the fear, let it wrestle with the noise of the night for you.
I'll give you a bit of audience clap for that as well, I think. That was 50,000 people clapping there. Lovely, Martin, really lovely. Do you know what? Before I went to that event, I would, if somebody said, "Do you want to come to a?" If somebody said to me, "Do you want to come to a folk festival?" I probably wouldn't have exactly bitten the hand off, to be honest. And I went to that event. And it's just the F word that attracts me, festival. And although folk festival, it's a double whammy, isn't it? Two Fs.
Two Fs, yeah.
It's just.
Well, you know. Go on, sorry.
So it's just such soulful music. It just connects intellectually and through the heart. It's just beautiful, really, really lovely. And
well, I think there's a misconception, and I think Britain, in a way, I first played my first folk. I came to the mainstream. I was signed to Sony in the early '90s, and had a few sort of bit of chart success, not enough, but the first folk festival I ever played was in Canada in 1999, the Calgary Folk Festival, and Elvis Costello was playing, and Michael Franti and Spearhead, and this is music I know, and I thought, well, if this is folk music, count me in, you know, and I think it's got a lot broader now, and the way I look at it, Nick, is I would regard, you know, you said the spirit of punk, I would regard that in a sense as folk music, folk meaning music of the people. You know, we go back to the roots of this stuff, like, you know, Woody Guthrie. If you look at Paul Robeson, the great American activist, the bass singer who came and was such a friend to the Welsh miners in the 40s and 50s, you know, it's about the way music unites people and brings people together. And if music does that, as far as I'm concerned, in a way, it falls under the genre of folk music. And I think for a lot of people, they think of it as you know, people doing a bit of Morris dancing with a finger in the ear, sort of, and you know, blowing a flute or something. But you know, there's a lot of amazing stuff out there, and a lot of the political writing now takes place within the folk genre. You know, especially in North America. Actually, that's, you know, in Americana, you'll find artists being quite political in their music.
it's funny because I'm a little bit late to this game of activism to a certain degree. Although I've done the Rock Against Racism marches and all that stuff back in the day. But it's only recently when I sort of reconnected with Billy Bragg, having seen him play after 30 years, literally. And and seeing that he's done stuff with Woody Guthrie, and that's my homework for the summer, I think, because I haven't had a minute to stop in the last 3 months. But the Woody Guthrie thing just sounds really quite important and very, very relevant at the moment.
Here he is. This is my Woody Guthrie poster.
Check
It's like it's a manifesto to what a good song is. And if you just put this in Google or something, Woody Guthrie poster, what a good song does. And you should read it. I hate a song that makes you think that you're not any good. I hate a song that makes you think you were just born to lose. That's how it starts, and
Wow.
it goes on from there. So yeah, absolutely. And I'm good friends with Tom Robinson now. You know, we've worked together now for 25, 30 years in various
Wow.
guises, writing, and of course Billy too. And so it's fantastic the impact that those initial marches had, and the fact now that even all these years later, it's so sad that we still have to do them, but you know, there is a movement right now, and it's positive, and art, poetry, stained glass windows, painting has a huge role to play in the encouragement of that spirit. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I'm getting you back. I think we could sort of chew the fat all night, but that's the problem with people like you and Billy Bragg. When you're dangerously inspiring, dangerous to yourself, because there's only one of you, and you've got this fun of 1 billion people who want to have a pint with you. I'll let you crack on. I'm sorry.
I'm going to sing one more song then, Nick, and thank you for having me. The song I'm going to do is a song that I wrote in 2015. I was the Welsh representative of a group of folk singers who were asked to write songs to commemorate the 800th year anniversary signing of the Magna Carta. And I said, well, how does that work? They said, we'd like you to write songs based on acts of parliament since the 14th century. I thought, well, that sounds like a barrel of laughs. But it was actually quite moving because they gave us access to the law in the House of Commons, the original law, and so we could pull out these incredible acts that showed us that democracy is a very slow-moving thing, but it wasn't that long ago that women didn't have the vote. So I held that original document in my hand, or the act that stopped kids working underground, that type of thing. And I pulled out the 1946 Health Act, ushered in by the Welsh Labour MP, Mr. Nye Davin, which gave us the NHS. And this is a song I wrote about that. So I thought this would be a timely way to end my little set for you, and also to pay a tribute to all those workers out there who are giving so much of themselves, and in some cases, absolutely everything. So I'll leave you with this. It's a song called Nye.
9 days before I was born, you were gone. What you left behind. Great architect of health reform came forth from your soft heart and tough mind. When nothing good comes easy, let's fight for the dreams that we hold. And you finally got that bell through, though you had to stuff their mouths with gold. And the purpose of power is to give it away. This is my truth, tell me yours. Freedom won't be freedom until poverty is gone. So now your dreams are alive and strong. This tide and drained, it's 2 a.m. She summons up the strength again, she smiles. It's not for the way she does this job, it's a greater call that cannot be defined. The surgery, the plaster tape, the arm around the aching and confused. And drugs to give that little one more time to play should never be refused. And the purpose of power is to give it away. This is my truth, tell me yours. Freedom won't be freedom till poverty is gone. So now your dreams are alive and strong. The accident, the cancer cell, the final breath of sacrament at dawn. The beating heart, the broken to the cry of the fragile being born. Just 9 days before I was born, you were gone over what you left behind. Your greatest hour remains with us now. We're holding on with soft hearts and tough minds. Listen, no society can call itself civilized If the sick are denied through lack of means, and if you don't believe me, just go take a plane, my friend. Go break your arm, see what it costs in New Orleans. And the purpose of power is to give it away. This is my truth, will you tell me yours? Freedom won't be freedom until poverty is gone, and now your dreams alive and strong. And the purpose of power is to give it away. This is my truth, tell me yours. Freedom won't be freedom until poverty is gone. So now your dreams alive and strong. Yes, it is.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Martin.
That's all right, Nick. No problem. Thanks.
Really, absolutely superb. Really, really good. And when you play it back, you think, well, this wasn't another Zoom call. We made a bit of an effort. I'm in a bedroom for the last 2 months. I couldn't leave the building, but we've done our best just to try and create something and to open other people up to your amazing art and your work. It's just a beautiful connection. It really is.
Well, I have a self-admiration thing here, but I've watched what you're doing, Nick, and more power to you. And from small things, big things grow. So you take heart, keep going, and stay strong.
Thank you very much. It's like Billy Bragg says, you inspire an audience. We go away and do our bit, but we need agency, and that's, I think it comes from the music. It comes from the heart. So, anything coming up? You got any tours penciled in? Anything we should be thinking about?
Yeah, I'm releasing a physical EP. I wrote a song when this stuff started called When We Get Through This. It's on YouTube. If you put my name, Martin with a Y, Joseph, When We Get Through This, you'll see the lovely video. And it went to #1 actually in the iTunes singer-songwriter chart for a few days. And so we're releasing that as an EP with that song Now I just wrote. So that's coming up. I'm doing the occasional online show, and my wife and I run a charity called Let Yourself Trust. We work with grassroots organizations around the world. So we're making sure that our projects, because we change every 6 months, we've been going for 6 years now, so we've got 12 projects under our belt. And through the generosity of my audience, we've raised £500,000 now and given away. So we're making sure that those projects are doing well. We only work with small outfits, so a lot of good, and just I'm writing the songs and doing my best to stay afloat and be the best you can be this time.
Well, one thing that struck me that night, just to finish quickly, that struck me that night was in that clearing that night in between the trees, there were a lot of people who knew you, there were a lot of people who didn't, and I suspect that the opportunity now, are you familiar with the long tail strategy of marketing and business in this new world, the long tail? The fact that, you know that one, so the micro market, a micro market is a mass market for somebody as talented as you, and the Patreon model and those sort of things,
Yeah, those things are out there. I mean, I've been a full-time musician for 38 years now, and I've gone through all the modes. I've seen it all, been signed to the big label and formed my own label, and the internet came along, and these are good days for the independent artists, but I'm fortunate because I have an audience, Nick, who's stuck with me and have been very loyal, and I'm aware for young people who are just discovering the ability to communicate now. In some ways it's good, but in some ways it's not. So we need to take care of them and encourage them, and all of that stuff. So
it's interesting. They're challenging times, very challenging times. I mean, a bunch of musicians were due to play last night. Their agent had lined them up. He doesn't manage; he empowers. So he creates opportunities, but they've got to get up and do them. And sadly, none of them came through in the end, actually, which, I think they were from across the country. It wasn't an indication of Wales. Wales has got the new curriculum. We've got a lot to undo. But Martin, I can't thank you enough for your support tonight. I'm going to let you crack on, and I'd love to know what you think of what we've managed to do with it. But thank you, and stay safe.
Okay, mate, and you stay in touch. Let's, maybe we can send your stuff to our foundation. We can take a look and see if we can help you.
That'd be amazing. Thank you very much. Martin Joseph and everybody, thank you very much. Amazing work.
Thanks, everyone.
Wow, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? It doesn't get much better than that. Gosh, almost lost for words, actually. It's a bit not like me, is it? So you may have seen there the display that was running on the screen. This is the display that has been created in 3D by Damon, who's a dad at my son's primary school. kept in contact. Just beautiful work. He did all the 3D modeling, all the 3D animation that's enabled us to convince the world that we are here. We're here, we're there. How many people are watching? 6, whatever. That's 6 more than would have been if I hadn't been here. I know Lee Higgins is there. I've seen Lee Higgins. Lee's site manager at the school up the road there, and he's eagerly awaiting, I'm sure, the Glenn Matlock and El Slick set later on. That's coming up at 10 o'clock, so about an hour away from that. Emily Capel is going to be coming on in 15 minutes. So I've got to do something for 15 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to do for 15 minutes, to be honest. I don't know if anybody's out there who'd like to Skype in and tell us what they think. I mean, Lee Higgins, have you got Skype on your... Hey, let's get Lee Higgins up here. Lee Higgins, if you've got Skype, drop me a text and I'll tell you the Skype address. I'm sure your lad can sort you out. Let's get Lee Higgins up here on a Saturday night to sort of tell us what he thinks of what's going on. That'll shake him off the sofa. If anybody wants to come in, if you want to... pop a comment in. I've got a screen. We've actually got this. I took a madly dangerous decision tonight to use a new system that I've never. Well, I've only used it once before, and that ended in tears. It's a new system that lets us pop messages up. So if somebody pops a message in now, anything you say, I could pop on the screen along the bottom. In theory, let's have a look. Comments. So we've got any new comments. Great stuff. Richard Simpson saying thank you. So there we go. His message is up there. That's what happens. You see, Richard, you need to get yourself a little icon in there. What platform are you on? That's YouTube, is it? Okay, you need to get yourself a YouTube icon. There's Lee Higgins on Facebook. There he is, proudest dad in town with Carl. Carl's an amazing young man doing incredibly well at Warwick University. He's writing for the university newspaper. Just such an asset. What's the word? Asset, not an asset of his dad. Whatever, you know what I mean. I haven't started on the cooking lager yet. If you are wondering about drinking and what the rules are tonight, there's only one rule for drinking, and that's to get your craft beer from the Co-op, because we've done a deal with them. And there's the advert in the program. If you want to get this program, you can download it from the website. I'll put your address up in there now. Watch this. This is really cool. You're on the wrong Skype there. Oh, no, you're not. Okay, so we've got Richard Simpson coming in here. Let's get Richard Simpson up here. Okay. This is exciting. Somebody's actually phoned into the show. This is Richard, who knew the address, you see. Come on, Lee, we'll get you next. You can drop me a text. So here we go. I'm going to press that button there. Which one do I need to press? That one there. And turn him up. Richard Simpson, can you hear me?
So here we go. I'm going to press that button there.
There you are.
That one there. And turn him up.
You've got your audio on there.
Can you hear me?
Sounds like you're one of those. You're a bit of a bugger, you are. You don't speak for a while, and then I think the microphone's not working. Have you got the sound on your second screen? Can you turn the second screen down, because we're going to get a feedback thing? I'm going to have to turn that microphone down and kill that. I can't hear you at the moment. I've had to kill that because we have to kill the loop. It takes about 8 seconds to flush it through. Did you have the second screen volume on, just out of interest? Because you can hear me, I think, can't you? Can you hear me? That's better.
Did you have the second screen volume on?
Have you got the volume on the television?
You can hear me, I think.
I can hear you. We've only got volume on 1 at the minute. Let's have a look.
That's settled through. That's flushed through now. I tell you what, this is not for the faint-hearted.
I've lost you now, Nick. Where are we?
I can see you. I can see you. I can hear you. I've turned the camera off, so you
I
won't
can
be
hear
able
you,
to
but
see.
I can't see my second screen now, so I can't see what's going on. As long as you can hear us, that's
We
all
can
right.
hear you, and we can see you perfectly. Yeah. I've forgotten your daughter's name, actually.
It's Isla.
Hello, Isla. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Have you been watching the show tonight? Have you?
I've forgotten your daughter's name, actually.
There we go. We're back. We've been watching, haven't we?
What was your favourite bit?
What did you like? Select the music.
The music.
You like the music, do you? What do you reckon, Richard?
I think it's really interesting. I really enjoyed the chats from the two Kemp brothers and Chris Sullivan earlier. Thought there was some really interesting points about the arts and about school clubs and after-school clubs and giving children the opportunity to find their art or find a passion or find something they're interested in. Those two guys obviously found their acting and music, didn't they?
What lovely guys, weren't they, as well?
Yeah, really, really eloquent to talk to about, you know, where they come from and what they did and what their route into where they ended up was as well. Really interesting to hear.
No, really, really, really lovely. What are your thoughts of the last couple of days? Have you seen a couple of days? Have you seen much of the stuff? I've seen you dipping in and out.
I saw a bit of it last night. I've been back at work full time, so I didn't see anything during the day yesterday, unfortunately.
Not to
I saw
worry.
some of the stuff last night, and I've been dipping in and out today to see some of it. So, yeah, really good, really interesting. I think you should come down and build the Isle of Wight Festival next time. Never mind this Glastonbury nonsense.
Well, it's funny actually, because I was thinking, I'd love to. I haven't been to Glastonbury for years, and I'd love to go to Glastonbury. But the last thing I want to do is just because it's Glastonbury, I don't want to be sat in this bedroom this time next year. I wouldn't mind having a studio in the back of a lorry or something. I don't know what the future is because I don't tend to, as you know, I don't tend to think beyond the end of the day. Planning 2 days.
I'd not notice.
You know what I'm like too well, don't you? So, yeah, but I'd love to do that, and I think there's something to be said for almost providing a community level underneath a festival, expanding it, taking it out there, as long as it doesn't stop people actually going and cannibalize sales. I don't know if I told you, but I was talking to Ed and Darren at Brew Ed, and we were hoping to actually do a physical festival at the end of May. We had a venue lined up, and we were talking to an organizer, and Ed put a questionnaire out and said if we did one, who would come? And 2,000 people said they'd come, basically, which would have
be brilliant,
just underwritten it, wouldn't it? So, but the point is to get away from this teacher CPD thing, because as you know, we've got to connect the teachers, a bit like the literacy thing, the Hay Book Fest we did the other week. Very important to try and connect the two. I'm going to so the big admission I've got today, believe it or not, is it's my wife's birthday.
Oh, Nick, not again. You did this. It was your son's birthday last time.
It was, wasn't it? So basically, a whole bunch of gaggling wife's friends have just turned up in the outside backyard, which means I've got to shut the window, which means it is going to be hot as hell in here tonight because I don't want them shouting and screaming in through the window. They don't need me beckoning in. So it's going to be a bit of a funny one, that is, isn't it?
You're not going to have them on the green. Get the green screen out there. Get them dancing along.
I think she'd rather pretend I didn't even exist, to be quite honest. It's
oh dear.
Bit of a bad smell sometimes with all this. It's a bit all consuming. So what do you think of the 3D graphics we've pulled off then? What do you think of that?
Oh, I love the background. I thought the background was brilliant with all the different logos and the pictures of the children going in and out. Yeah. I'm never quite sure with you whether you actually have built a cardboard stage or not.
Are you really?
I wasn't actually sure whether you hadn't gone and built some sort of cardboard stage in the fields of a primary school. I just couldn't quite tell, but I suppose that's credit to the computer graphics and the guy that's done that for you. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because one or two people have actually got a little bit grumpy about it because they thought I was being misleading and confusing people. As far as I'm concerned, we need stunts like this and marketing ideas like this to convince people, really. Did you see the little skull and crossbones on the top there as well?
I see it now. Yeah, I've got it on my other screen. So yeah, we're having a look across. Yeah, was that added on after you got some complaints, or was that there from the start?
That's been there from the start. That has actually.
Has it?
Yeah. No, it's well, no, actually not from the start. I beg your pardon. I added it tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my little addition tonight. So a little bit of I don't know. It's funny because I really wanted to do. There's a lovely book here. I don't know if I've sort of mentioned this one to you before. Be More Pirate, or Be More Pirate, or How to Take on the World and Win. Sam Conniff and Allende, and it's a lovely little book. And there's a line on the front: "I'd rather be a pirate than join the Navy," by Steve Jobs. And it's one of those lovely leadership, innovation, new ways of running the world. But it's really lovely. The average man will bristle if you say his father was dishonest, but he will brag a little if he discovers that his great-grandfather was a pirate.
I'm gonna have to get that on my list. I think of books to read.
I think you will. I think we're gonna. Your wife's not gonna think much of you meeting me. Mischief, purpose, power. Pirates don't just break the rules; they rewrite them. They didn't just reject society; they reinvented it. Pirates didn't just challenge the status quo; they changed every effing thing. It does have the whole word there. Pirates faced a self-interested establishment, a broken system, industrial scale, corruption, and an uncertain future. Sound familiar? Be More Pirate unveils the innovative strategies of Golden Age pirates, drawing parallels between the tactics and teachings of legends like Henry Morgan and Blackbeard with modern rebels like Elon Musk. I don't know, my eyes aren't very good at the moment. And Banksy, featuring takeaway sections and a guide on how to build your own pirate code. This is the book everybody needs to be reading.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to order that, Nick. That sounds amazing.
Certainly got a bit of attitude, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it has, and I think I can certainly see that the attitude of a few of the people you've mentioned is sort of like piracy, isn't it? They take ideas and they run with them and they do what they like and sort of go against the grain a little bit. Elon Musk, for example, is a bit Marmite, isn't he? He's really polarizes opinion with people thinking about how he is and what he acts, but you can't fault what he's gone and done. I mean, did you watch the space rocket take off the other week?
We had it live on here with a mum from
Yeah,
Leeds.
it was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? We watched it take off and then went out in the garden and saw the space station come across and saw the rocket following it. It was absolutely Finn. You know my son Finn. Absolutely obsessed with astronauts and rockets and things, and he was absolutely transfixed by that all afternoon from sort of 3 o'clock till evening, watching the countdown and watching the astronauts go out and get in the ship and everything. And it's such an achievement, isn't it?
Absolutely, really is. So, can you hear my wife's party chattering in the background out of interest, or is it just me?
No.
You can't, because I can.
I need a louder.
So check that out. That's the shot, isn't it? Be more pirate with the. Can you see that little animation there?
Yeah. I see this one next on the screen. Skull and crossbones. Yeah,
that's the sort of dad you want in your school, isn't it? Building things like that for you. Amazing.
Yeah,
so
that's
lucky.
incredible. Did you say they were in the middle of carpet rolls?
Those ones there?
Yeah.
Well, it's all computer graphics.
Oh, I thought you held one up, when we were watching the other day, and you held up a massive cardboard.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I've got that here. Here we go. That's one of my props.
Tube.
That's one of my big props. That is. Look. I've sawed it in half. I've got about 2 or 3 big ones. We're actually going to. So you're one of our sort of inner sanctum members now. But basically, tomorrow morning, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 1 till 3, we're all going outside for a little big lunch. So if you're around the house, put your table and chairs out the front and have your lunch out the front. And we're going to build a little pyramid stage out of those cardboard tubes out the front of the house tomorrow and have our lunch under a little table. We're going to make a den. Because the funny thing is,
it made me think I'm going to get in touch with some of the carpet shop. There's several on the island and see if they can provide us with some for school. I think it'd be brilliant to do some sort of project because I've only got seen children in a minute in year 6, so we're looking for sort of things that we can do with them and something like that as a project to build their own festival stage or something that would be a great project to do for the next few weeks until there's summer holidays.
Well, it's a great material because it's recycled in the first place and it's recyclable as well. And I got a load of this. I wanted some thick string for it, so oh goodness, this is going to end in tears. This will just come undone. But I bought a load of this sisal cord, which, believe it or not, is the stuff that you buy for cat scratching posts of all things. And I've got that to lash it all together. And believe it or not, it actually came with a little pong-pong ball that the cat can do little things with as well. So
how many cats have you got?
I haven't got any cats. I just bought some string to tie my poles together. So that's I think I really was a Blue Peter child, and I don't think I've let that go really. So yeah, it's all good fun.
Badge?
I beg your pardon?
Have you got a Blue Peter?
I never
badge?
did get a Blue Peter badge. No, I didn't get one of
They've
those.
just opened it up again. We've been again a bit like I said a minute ago. We've been looking for projects for my class to do, and Blue Peter have opened it up that you can send work in, or children have been doing stuff at home.
Oh, great!
They can submit work online, and they can apply for different badges or different coloured badges now for different things. So they can do an eco-friendly project of some sort. They can do a writing or an art project of some sort, and they get different coloured badges awarded.
Brilliant. You had a good laugh then. All my wife's friends laughed at something you said then. That's a nice sign, isn't it? Somehow I don't think they're watching it. It's funny. I don't even know if kids watch Blue Peter anymore. So from what I watched it recently, it just seemed like a load of pop videos. To be honest, they're trying to desperately keep it relevant because no kids seem to really want to make anything at the moment. I think we'll have to beat them with the Rocket Kids Club, Richard. I'm going to have to go actually because we've just got Emily Capel lined up to come on by the sound of it. Just had it in my earpiece.
Brilliant.
So
looking forward to listening to her sing, aren't we?
Did you hear her Eden Project when she sang there?
A couple of weeks ago, yes. Yeah,
yeah.
it was brilliant. And the other chap who I'm really impressed by was Lloyd Williams-Jones, who I think you've got on tomorrow.
Oh gosh, yes, Brewhead Out the Arts. He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's going to smash it.
Singer.
I think he's going to smash it. I think we need to get a shout out on the Teacher Edgy Twitter tomorrow night, don't you?
Yeah, I'll give it a bit of a retweet and a bit of a plug for you. He sang a fantastic song called Kindness. I think it's a cover of a Frank Turner song.
Okay.
And I got in touch with him about it because I'd just written a blog about a kindness curriculum, and asked if I could use some of the lyrics and some of the songs from it. So we've been in touch on
Cool.
Twitter, and a really, really top bloke. But yeah, great singer.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to have to love you and leave you, I'm afraid. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, Richard. I mean, we only met through.
No problem. Nice to chat.
We literally met at the start of lockdown, didn't we? When I was on the Isle of Wight for a week.
I think it was the day before, wasn't it, or a couple of days?
So
It
it was
was
a couple of days.
Day, wasn't it?
And do you know what? I actually got into Asda and panic bought 2 jars of hand cleaner, the big ones, not massive, only about that sort of size. And my wife was furious, wasting money on hand cleaner to clutter up the cupboard. I could have sold that for 10 times the price a week later.
You should see what we're having to pay for it in school at the minute. It's criminal.
It is actually criminal. It's gone up tenfold, all these things, isn't it? It's really, really bad. Really will make you take.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. Stay with it tonight. Keep the old socials coming in. Oh, Lee
Will do,
Higgins.
Nick. Take care.
Lee
Thank
Higgins. Thank you very much. Good old Lee Higgins had a go with the Skype. Cheers then, Richard. Speak to you soon. Couldn't sort the Skype out. Not to worry. Not to worry, Lee. You're going to enjoy this. It's good to know you're there. One love. Lee's been an absolute rock to us over the years. He's always there. Fantastic father, role model to all the kids at the school there at St Saviour's, Miss Woodford, Father Bradley, everybody there. You know, it's a tight community, and Lee plays more than his part. And frankly, well, until year 6 teacher arrived, it was a lead role model for those young people. And that's what this is all about. A whole village to raise a child, school site managers, whatever. Everybody's in it together. I'm going to cut to the chase, actually cut to the chase of sorts. I'm actually going to just play a little closing piece. Before I do that, I just want to remind you all to make sure you download the program. This has got information about the Co-op sponsored mini beer festival. The idea is you crack a craft beer, ideally one of those 8, because they're exclusive to the Co-op. I'm on empty cans, I'm afraid. I've only got 4 cans in the house, so if anybody wants to nip out and get me some more beers, I think I'll be like 4 cans. And we've got Danny Rampling tonight DJing. I've got to work that out yet. So there's your Punk IPA. That was a good one. We've got the poster here. We want people sat outside tomorrow having their lunch outside the house. That's a hashtag Little Big Lunch. That got very messy last time, didn't it, Malumba? Tomorrow we've got Chris Riddell at 12 o'clock. He's going to do some drawing. It's going to be fantastic. So you want to get everybody in for that. And there's your poster to put up for the Tom Morley mass drumming session at 4 o'clock. We've got a packed day tomorrow. It's unbelievable. We just packed it in. Malumba's done a fantastic job. I might actually get Malumba up just quickly. Let's get him on just to say hello. Why didn't I get Malumba up before? Let's see what we're doing, because Malumba's going to... The message there for somebody. Let's get Malumba. Let's get Malumba here. He's doing his hair now. He's not having a little panic, probably. Oh, let's get rid of that one. I'll put him up there. Malumba, how are we? What are we doing? What's the plan? What's next?
Do you have to keep reminding the whole entire world of what a messy Sunday I had?
Oh, shush! Now it's all right. It's all good.
Well, thank you very much. That's exactly the words I was looking for.
Nobody knows anything.
Chris Sullivan sent a Danny mix.
I've got that. Yeah, that's the Danny Rampling.
Perfect. I'll confirm with him, because it's just I'm talking to him one thing. We're doing very well. Martin Joseph was absolutely off the roof. And do you know what? I used to live in Montreal. You remember that?
Yes.
His wife is from Montreal.
Wow.
So all these circles coming up together. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Good vibes, isn't it? Yeah, let's see if we can get you on the green screen. Hang on, you've got you on.
Yeah, Emily, we're waiting for Emily now.
Okay, well, I'm sure she's sat there waiting.
Well, no, she's ready, but you know, I'm just saying, you wanted to know what's next, and Emily's next.
Cool. The green screen's looking good. You're sat in front of the stage there quite nicely.
Oh, thank you very much.
I don't know if you can see
I
that.
always wanted to sit quite nicely in front of a stage.
There you go. No, you're looking good. It just.
I'm enjoying today quite a lot, Nick.
I can hear Amanda's birthday party downstairs.
So can I, and I wish I could stop working and just go crash her party. Really, if you ask me.
Well, I'm going to have to turn this down because I'm projecting right out. If I shut the window, it's going to be it's going to be hot as heck for me. There's no doubt about that.
Well, you know, we are in the business of reality TV, and this is part of the reality.
Yeah, I'm not so sure she's that convinced actually that I'm in the business of reality TV. I think she just got some idea. It's some noddy little project that I'm doing. But
It's all right. It's all right. When she has time to sit and see that, you know, Glenn Matlock is a part of it, Martin Joseph is a part of it. When all that sinks in, you know.
it's good. I mean, Martin Joseph, he seems very connected, doesn't he? I mean, it's not surprising. Those activist musicians, folk music. The yeah, we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah, he seems very humble as well. So I quite enjoy it.
Did
Right,
you
please
see
set up for
did you
Emily.
see the
She's
little?
waiting and ready,
Yeah.
and she's going to rock it.
Did you see the little skull and crossbones on top of the stage?
I did. I'm very, very, very pleased about it.
How cool was that?
I know you've worked very hard. The whole entire day you've been concerned about one thing and one thing only, is getting that pirate flag at the top of the pyramid stage.
I've sent your emails out. I did the emails while Martin did the last song, so that's all
You
done.
did. And just in case any of those people are watching, Nick was in a hurry doing it, so he put Saturday 27. Can you please correct it? It's Sunday 28. Thank you.
I did wonder if there's going to be anything different. Not to worry, I can send a follow-up. So
That's
remember,
all right. I'm pretty sure everybody will understand.
I've got a button here. When I press it, it kicks you off and gets me back on.
Kick me
Oh,
off,
that's not
kick
very
me
good.
off, kick me off, yeah.
That's right, it's all just gone completely belly up now. Not to worry. Let's put
Kick
that
me
there.
off, kick me off, kick me off, yeah.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
You just can't get the staff, can you? So this is really exciting because, oh my goodness, the other week, a friend of ours, Sasha, hooked us up with a really, really amazing, talented young lady. And we had a little plan, which, yeah, in a way it didn't work out, but it did, because it means she's here again tonight, which is great, because that's Emily Capel, who I am going to connect to right here, right now. And I'm going to set her up, and I've got to go and shut that window, go and grab some beers and get back here. So let's just hope everything works. Let's hope she answers the phone first. That's the starter for 10, isn't it? That's what we do need. A little bit of phone answering from Emily. I'm sure she's going to. I'm sure she's going to play ball. Can you imagine how unpopular I am in my house doing this on my wife's birthday? It just doesn't bear thinking about, does it? So is she coming on? Let's have a look. We're ready to go. We're ready for her. We're ready on stage. Everybody on stage is all fired up and ready to go. Let's have a listen. Is it answering? Hello, Emily. Can you hear us? Oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, the bus is coming.
Oh, there you are. Look. I can see you. I'm going to press the button. Now you're good to go. If I press this button here, you are live to the world on the pyramid stage, made out of toilet rolls and cardboard at Glastonbury. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel amazing. Thank you for having me. I've green screened.
I can see that. I can see that. You've got a second screen as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to kill that camera. So what I've got to do now is I've got to press a button here. This is all quite complicated. So because I can only do one green screen, you see, which means I can't be green screened anymore, but you can. So you're now green screen. Let's have a look. It's a little bit, your lighting's not brilliant, but that's going to work.
Let me turn the light on.
A little bit more light will probably help it.
Oh, God. Yeah, that bit better.
How's that for you? Does that feel all right? So you're actually sat in front of yourself on the pyramid stage, which is a bit illogical, isn't it? I might sort of go and find myself a slightly better, more sensible. I'm trying to be vaguely sort of sensible with this. Let's get rid of that and turn that off.
How amazing was that guy? He was just on.
What, me?
No, yeah, you and.
I'm joking.
Definitely you. And is it Martin Joseph or Joseph Martin?
Martin Joseph. Wasn't he incredible?
Amazing. I just watched him. I just sat and watched him. He was wicked.
Hang on, have you got green on your dress? No, you haven't, have you? It's interesting actually, because you haven't got green dress, because it just seems that your dress is a bit. You've got to balance it all up.
I'm like a floating head. That's fine.
That's fine. No, I saw Martin at a festival down in South Wales, and it was a lovely festival called Between the Trees, and it literally was in a sand dunes with some woods. There were only 500 people there, and it really was really lovely. And he played, and I had no expectation. I folk music, I'm a sort of disco house guy, and it wasn't my cup of tea at all. And just blew me away. So to have him here tonight, and he's clearly a legend, in his own, not just his own lunchtime, beyond that. I think we've had a real hero tonight.
No, I think so too. He was wicked. He was really cool. Definitely. I sat and I know Chris Sullivan. You had Chris Sullivan on this afternoon, didn't you?
Do you know Chris? Do you?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. How do you know Chris? Or can't we?
He does a radio show, and I've done his radio show.
Oh, right. Okay, that sounds like a little bit of Soho connections. That does.
It's all like to do with that, yeah.
All that's all good. Well, it's what goes around comes around, isn't it? If he gets people like you out there and gets the talent. Oops, hang on. You've just done something to your screen then.
I just did for 2 seconds.
It's all right. It just gives me a minor heart attack. That's all. So
I'm back now. I'm back.
I was trying to get myself up on there actually for a minute. Let's have a look. I can put myself on the screen while you're talking. Let's do that. So that's a bit better, isn't it? The only trouble is, you see, when you've got a green screen, when you're not using the green screen, you know, like cutting it out, you're on a green wall, which looks a bit rubbish.
All right. Well, that's okay. I don't
No,
mind
you're not.
that.
I am. So if you can see now, I'm in front of a green screen, which
You're ruining the
which wouldn't be the first place to go, really. But having said that, the branding's green, isn't it? And that's actually quite fortuitous. Maybe that was a plan. I don't know. So, Emily, you're going to sing a few songs tonight then, are you?
yeah, do a couple.
Thought you might do that. Let's have a look here then. How long have you got? You have got, gosh, you've got a good sort of 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes up till, well, we've got no stress tonight. So take it as you need to, really. Only stress in my life is Malumba, and you've had that similar stress off him as well. He's awful, isn't he?
It's been very easy. It's been all been fine. Absolutely fine. The green screen was easy. Thank you for sending it to me. And yeah, it seems a lot less stressful this time. I feel like you've got into the swing of it. So yeah.
Oh, hang on. Oh, so was the stress from me last time? Was it? Is that what you're saying? Or
I mean, that's totally what I mean. I feel like we're pro. Before we were like maybe like first time hits, but this time we're professionals.
We are. We did the UK tour last time. This is world tour, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen. Last
time, now we're headliners. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Emily Capel. She's going to blow the roof off our cardboard pyramid stage. Go for it, Emily. Thank you so much.
I never feel secure when I'm listening to the Doors and I'm running myself a hot bath. And if the water runs cold, my little heart gold will be all alone in the dark. Ride with your papa last night. He said it's sad to see I'm so behind. Why don't I find myself a rented property and I can get it all for a reasonable fee? But I'm not sure of no shoes indoors. And what if it floods and the bailiffs come? The key don't fit the lock and I have to get a job. I said I'll just find a footballer to marry me. I build myself up an internet following and I'll try to keep my feelings at bay. I can learn about some free kick or volley and I'll fight the best team away. I bumped into your mama last night. She told me I'm looking so fine. She couldn't really see me through my spray tan, and she asked how long I'd been a Millwall fan. I did wait at the training gates. I look so smart in a half and half scarf. You take the corner and I'll cheer for ya. I found a footballer to marry me. Now you no struggle to pay your way, and I'll hit the beach again. It's a little bit boring to watch a whole game, but it's worth it for the papers next day. And it's my life, but it's not my cash. But a 9 to 5 is such a bore. I don't care for it, I look so flash. I lined up my shot, and I scored. Yeah, I found a footballer to marry me. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna do a song now called "Who Killed Smiley Culture," which was
which was a single. So this is Who Killed Smiley Culture.
Keep moving and rolling, the grind gets on ya. If they come a knocking, then I'll say you weren't here. Yeah, I am cool, man. I know the rock man with 2 snooker balls tied up in his socks, man. The real Slim Shady just stood up with one of his fingers on each hand up. And the streets are now empty, but the popo's still there. And there's me thinking that I'm so insecure. Well, I am more qualified than Professor Green, and that little ginger's got nothing on me. So listen up, baby, to the things that you are. Who killed Smiley Culture? Well, it's alright for me, 'cause I'm not in the business of the lies that you told Little Wayne and his missus, of whipping the lovers that you knew couldn't hack it, just to sell stories of what's up his bracket. While I look alright in their knuckle bottom jeans, but the boots with the fare, they did nothing for me. So listen up, baby, to the things that you all are. Who killed Smiley Culture? West side, I'm from the west side, where we'll set your party on fire. West side, I'm from the west side, where we'll set your night alight. I'll set it on fire. I'm gonna set you on fire.
Oh, ha! Thank you. That's Who Killed Smiley Culture. I played that on the Stromerville stage when I played at Glastonbury. I don't know what
I
year
must
it
admit,
was.
I really did like that song. It's a lovely number.
Thank you. I didn't know if you were there. I thought it was just a
Really lovely. Yeah, no, really good. Sounding good. I need to get some of my sound effects on, don't I? My crowd sound effects. It's so awful actually being on your own, just singing and nobody there and no vibe. Surely.
same as the football, innit? I feel like Harry Kane when he scored his goal and no one clapped him. Oh.
I'll get you some applause. Don't you worry.
I would have to do something.
Oh, here you go. More. We love Emily.
Yeah, because we didn't score any goals at all, so never mind. Never mind.
I kind of feel we need to see your guitar. Can you move back a little bit, or move just?
No, I'll knock the screen down, so I'll tilt this bad boy. My guitar is the same colour as my dress. This is a Gretsch.
Okay.
Not that that's anything to me. I have no idea what that means. So yeah,
That's all good.
I stuck stickers on it because I'm such a cool hardcore punk rocker. I put stickers on it.
I go to schools all the time. I got a sticker that says "I ate all my lunch." And teachers, I'll be honest, tell the truth, I was actually at Parklands Primary in Leeds, and actually there was a big roll of stickers, and I nicked one that said "Teacher's Favourite." I've got that on my laptop. It's the only way I'm ever going to get one that says that. Anyway, I shouldn't chip in. Sorry, I'm spoiling it for you. Keep it coming.
No, it's nice. I haven't got an "I ate all my lunch" sticker. I need one, definitely. I definitely need one. Should I do another one? So this is I'll do another song. This is a song called "Twisting on the Waves." This is about how Sam Cooke died. Well, it's not really. It's kind of just me talking about Sam Cooke. Let's have a go at this one.
Hey baby, move away from those cats on your jack, on your back, even wearing slacks. I didn't know you could move like that. Just spin on the waves. My man is a Superman, the man does the can. He brings up the boys and all the toys from Japan. And I saw him once do the double slap hand clap. Just spin on the waves. Shut me up, pull me back. Watch me spin, watch me spin. I say come up, come hold me tight. When When to begin a like girls who can do the twist. Nobody should try and keep the people out. We can't build up the rules in case they scream and shout. Coca-Cola shoots pistol revolvers just on the way. Nina is a cleaner down from Halston Way. She's a dreamer and a schemer of a go-loco bay. Hey, when she would dance, I'd move out of her way. Just another way. Shut me up, pull me back, watch me spin, watch me spin. I should come up, come hold me tight. When to begin a life, girls, you can do the twist. Hey baby, move away from my town. Those old time moves are really bringing me down. I said, Charlie, don't surf, buddy, hit the CC's, bringing all the loving and the waves back to my kiki. The mamba and the rumba, the cha-cha in my hands, like the shuffle in the bump, and then the peanut butter jelly time. Shut me up, pull me back, watch me spin, watch me spin. I should come up, come hold me tight. When to begin a life, girls, you can do the twist. Shake me up, pull me back, watch me spin, watch me spin. I should come up, come hold me tight. When to begin a life, girls, you can do the twist. Yay! I'd like to do a song now called Tupac. Tupac didn't make it onto my debut album, but it made it onto my third EP, my Who Stands with Latasha Harlan's EP, that's what it's called. And this is a song called Tupac. This is off it. We can talk all night, but I know that I will never win. Cause everybody knows that he's died, but you keep telling me how you're him. And we can't walk in public if you keep on hiding from the policeman. It's cheap to drink out, but do you really need 6 cans? Don't be a waste man, fam. Don't be no rude boy. Try to be a good boy. Don't be no hologram, cause you just might give the game away. And I left all my gold discs on that island with JFK. I'll wait on my own while you cool Snoop, man. He's the greatest gangster rapper to come out of Compton. It's all part of your decoy, man. Don't be no rude boy. Yeah, try to be a good boy. I just know my head and I agree that you're a star. You say if you don't wanna drive by, don't get in my car. It's all going fine, cause no one might ever run after ya. We run away from Suge Knight, and I don't mention the Junior Mafia. Don't be no rude boy. Yeah, try to be a good boy. This ain't no gangster party. 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 This ain't no gangster party.
Wow, you're rocking it, Emily. You're rocking it. You got some nice little Neil Mold says sounding good, Emily. So you got a nice little bit of feedback there.
Oh, thank you, Neil.
There's apparently we're not going out on Twitter,
Oh my God.
Which
But
is-
why?
isn't the end of the world, but it is quite big for education stuff. How would you feel if we paused for 2 minutes while I stopped the stream and restarted it? Would you mind?
No, no problem at all. I won't go anywhere.
You haven't got any other big gigs, or you're not sort of counting the minutes or anything? 'Cause I'd rather get as big. There's a lot of teachers on Twitter, so let me just shut the mix down. Just going to
Okay.
stop the stream. Okay, everybody. So we're just about to. Let me check what's going on here. We're just about to close the feed down, just temporarily, to shut it down and start it up again and see if we can get the Twitter thing going, because it's a bit of a nuisance. We should have been told about that earlier, but not to worry. So 3, 2, 1, and broadcast.